By the time Command opened my execution warrant, the sky above Karen Trench was already burning green. The enemy spores crawled through our filters, turning dead soldiers into antennae for songs no human throat could sing. I had 6 minutes before the orbital guns erased the valley, and my orders were simple. Enter the bone refinery, execute the giantess, recover the black seed from her chest. I carried the weapon in my left hand, a collapsible pulse pistol locked to my heartbeat. My right hand would not stop shaking. Not fear. I had been afraid for 3 years, since the Avani clans rose from the salt forests and cracked our colony walls with living roots. This was recognition, though I did not know it yet. She waited in Chamber 9, kneeling because the ceiling was too low for her to stand. Even folded down, she was taller than a cargo loader. Her hair fell in tangled ropes, threaded with feathers, copper rings, and pale flowers that somehow had survived the ash. War paint traced her cheekbones. Blue stones clicked at her throat. Around her bare forearm spiraled a mark of black triangles, precise as a machine diagram, old as a scar. My visor tagged her as threat organism, height 18 meters, species unconfirmed. Command had called her a brood queen, a monster wearing a woman's face. Then she opened her eyes. They were human blue, impossible in that huge alien face, and fixed not on my gun, but on the scar below my mask. She whispered my childhood name. I had never heard it aloud. The pistol armed itself with a soft click. Outside, artillery hammered the refinery ribs, counting down for me. I aimed at her heart. The mark on her arm moved. Then mine burned beneath my sleeve. I did not shoot. The brave thing would have been obedience, the cowardly thing too. Obedience is easy when everyone around you has already become an echo. My comm hissed in my ear. Captain Soren asked for confirmation. Behind him, I could hear evacuation sirens, medics shouting, the wet thunder of Avani roots breaking through plated streets. Our colony was losing. My delay was not mercy. It was treason measured in seconds. She spoke again, not in Avani clicks, not in the harmonic language that scrambled drones, but in the lullaby dialect of the first miners. "Merrick," she said, "you used to bite your blankets." The name cut deeper than any shell fragment. My service file began at age 11, when rescue teams found me wandering a crater with no family, no memory, and a black triangular birthmark grafted under my collarbone. Command said the Avani had branded me before slaughtering the camp. Command paid for my lungs, my bones, my training. She leaned close enough that her breath fogged my visor. It smelled of rain on hot metal. "Your camp was not slaughtered," she said. "It was harvested." The word opened a door inside me. Behind it waited screams that did not sound human, and a woman with feathered hair shielding a child beneath her palm, while human dropships poured fire into the dark. Soren shouted my rank. The pistol began to punish disobedience, sending white pain through my bones. The giantess watched me suffer without pity, which somehow made me trust her more. Mercy would have been manipulation. Her eyes held judgment and grief, and one terrible question: what else had I killed for them? I lowered the pistol an inch. That was all rebellion needed. The weapon registered deviation and tried to break my wrist. Its safety claws unfolded, tightening around my glove, hungry for a command I no longer wanted to give. The giantess lifted her marked arm. The triangles rotated beneath her skin, not tattooed, not painted, but alive, each point blooming with dim turquoise light. My own mark answered from under my armor. The pulse between us matched the artillery outside. "Not a brand," I said. "No," she replied, "a receipt." Before I could understand, the chamber doors burst inward. 6 black armored soldiers entered with rail lances. They wore the same mask as mine, same blank eyes, Same company scripture stamped across their chests. Humanity survives by finishing first. Soren's voice came through their speakers, calm as anesthesia. Agent Ven has been contaminated, he said. Execute both. The soldiers fired before fear reached me. The giantess moved faster than size should allow. Cable swept the lances aside, sparks raining across her feathers, and one shot punched through the wall instead of my skull. Vacuum shrieked through the hole. The refinery was grown from alien bone, porous and listening. My pulse round awakened it. Rib columns twisted upward, trapping boots, bending rifles, swallowing screams into white calcium. The room became a mouth. I had made it one. The giantess stared at me, suddenly afraid. "You remember the seed," she whispered. I did not, but my hands did. They carved the air, opening a hidden seam in the wall. Beyond it waited an orchard under glass, and every tree had a human face sleeping inside its fruit. One face was mine, unfinished and breathing. The orchard should have made noise. It did not. The sleeping faces hung in translucent pods, swaying while the battle outside shook dust from the glass. Some were children, some were elders. None looked dead. The giantess entered behind me. For the first time she seemed smaller. "They are the colony," she said. "Not prisoners, survivors." I laughed once, the broken kind. I had seen survivors. Survivors crawled through triage tents. Survivors begged for water. Survivors did not hang from alien branches with leaves breathing over their mouths. She looked at my mask. "Your commanders released the glass fever when the mining vote failed. They needed bodies hidden, blame useful, grief obedient. We gathered whom we could before their organs turned to light. That was impossible. That was exactly how my mother had vanished." The pod beside me opened. A hand pressed against the membrane from inside. Tiny, brown, desperate. I was not found in a crater. I was carried from this orchard by Soren himself, wrapped in a company blanket. He cut the mark into my skin while I screamed, not to label me as Avani property, but to counterfeit ownership, a receipt. The giantess's real name surfaced from the bruise of memory. Thaya, keeper of refuges, enemy of no child. Then the orbital countdown appeared across my visor. 4 minutes. Soren had not sent me to kill a monster. He had sent me to erase witnesses. Thaya extended her marked arm, offering the same refuge she had once given me. I wanted refuge. Instead, I raised the gun toward the sky and chose war again. The gun could not reach orbit. Soren knew that. What he had forgotten was the pulse lock in my palm, the obedient little system that tied every weapon I carried to command telemetry. If my pistol fired at the targeting moon, the moon would answer. Thaya understood before I did. She wrapped her chains around the orchard pillars and pulled. The glass roof split with a sound like winter breaking. Green fire bloomed beyond it, orbital batteries aligning. Wind rushed down, carrying ash, pollen, and the distant screams of men who still thought they were righteous. I fired. The sky shot back. Light speared through the refinery, but Thaya lifted her marked arm. The triangles flew from her skin like dark birds, arranging themselves into a shield that was also a language. The blast struck it and became song. Every pod in the orchard opened at once. People spilled into the war, blinking, newborn and old together. Some recognized me, most did not. One woman touched my cheek through the torn mask and said my mother's name, not mine. That hurt more. Soren appeared on every channel, ordering troops to fire on the refugees. No one moved. Not because they believed me, because behind them, Avani roots rose from the trenches, holding broken human soldiers gently in their coils, proof breathing in mud. Thaya sank to one knee. The mark on her arm was gone. Mine remained, burning brighter.
"You must choose where the seed wakes,"
she said. The black seed was not in her chest. It was inside mine, beating under my counterfeit scar. Above, The moon adjusted for another strike. Below, humans and Avani waited for my answer. I lowered my pistol, pressed both hands over the mark, and listened as something ancient began knocking inside me. The story doesn't end here. If you enjoyed this video, subscribe to the channel, leave a like, and drop a message of support for us in the comments. This channel only survives because of your support. Every like, every comment, and every subscription helps this story reach more people and motivates us to keep bringing you stories like this.